First of all, we have the lowest garbage rates in Putnam County. We have the lowest town taxes in Putnam County. And by the way, we have the lowest school taxes in Putnam County. Okay? Those things should be identified because some statements were made about high taxes. We have the best tax rate. And Councilman Yee mentioned about saving money. He has no copyright on wanting to save money. We all are looking to save money. He voted, along with the supervisor, to restore $25,000 in a budget line to put the secretary on full time. I don't think that's very responsible. That's not saving money. Once again, you have to sit back, ladies and gentlemen, and look at what we're talking about here. We have a garbage company that had a permit to operate in Putnam County, that had very good recommendations, and also had the equipment to do the job and a good safety program. The garbage company, AAA, that they keep bringing up over and over and over again, had no permit to operate in Putnam County, had very poor recommendations, and had a safety program which was considered to be marginal at best. That is why we picked SaniPro, and that is why you have good garbage service now. And as Councilwoman Hudak talked about, we need to go forward with this attorney to support our position. This is really beyond the differences between the 2 or 3 or 4 of us over at AAA and SaniPro. This is about preserving the town's right to make that decision. This is for the town because, as Liz pointed out, we could be sued one way or the other depending on how this thing goes.
Well, folks,
and just remember, in closing, please, let me finish. In closing, the last court decision was 4-0 in favor of the decision that I was part of to keep SaniPro. That's a very good signal.
Okay. Folks, you didn't blink at hiring a special counsel, which you were cautioned that if we hired that could be a trigger for a lawsuit, and that lawsuit was forthcoming now by a constituent who has claimed a grievance, and the total is $84 million against the town of claimed against the town of Southeast, arising from that set of facts. So the threat of a lawsuit clearly isn't something that you've blinked at in the past, and in this instance is not a credible basis for proceeding. But we do have public comment. Sir?
Hi, yeah, my name's Jake Gambino. I just had, we've kind of talked about this. I think I get what's going on, but I was just wondering if, like, we could just put it, like, in a real easy way that maybe other people who maybe are coming to this for the first time, since this is maybe the first recorded instance, they'll be able to see it. It sounds like Councilwoman Hudak and Councilman Cullen are interested in just protecting the town's legal standing, in a past court decision. So it sounds like they're just trying to maybe protect us against potential litigation. And I don't know if anyone has any numbers about what we could get sued for. I think you said breach of contract. So they'd be suing us for loss of revenue. So I don't know what kind of dollar figure that is. Does anyone have like a rough number on how much that could potentially be? Or
well, Jake, we can't speak with respect to particulars of a claim by a third party, but broadly, as Councilman Cullen noted, lost profits, which in this case are hard to gauge, but presumably would not exceed the 20%, or would not significantly exceed the overpayment, which is embedded in the contract with the higher bidder. The larger issue is, with respect to any claim of damages, the low bidder has assured us, or sought to assure us, as I understand it, that there would be no claim against the town of Southeast itself for any act. As pursuant to their claims, as stated, they have said that there may be may or may not be a disgorgement of profits from the party which was granted the contract and which is collecting garbage now.
And I understand also that we do want to protect the legal standing of the town of Southeast, but we also have to understand we get sued all the time. Okay, so if this low vendor then gets the contract back, I don't think that it would be good business practice now that they've won the contract back, that they would then turn around and sue the town again. So
when was the town last sued?
All the time to say we're going to sue you, this and that. I don't think we should be fearful of being sued all the time. As long as we maintain the integrity of the town of Southeast, we're doing the right thing. They can sue us all they want to, but as long as we're doing the right thing and saving money. And I have to comment on Mr. Rose's subject, that, yes, the town of Southeast has some of the lowest taxes and things around, but you know what? It's still too much. It really is, because school taxes are X amount of dollars, it's too much. The town tax is X amount of dollars with the tax increase, it's too much, okay? When you pay almost $1 million more in a garbage contract and you still think that's a good deal, it's not, okay? If we go with the low bidder, it's even a better deal. So the integrity of the town of Southeast is very important. As far as protecting the legal standing, absolutely. But we also have to protect the integrity of the town, what we do and how we do it and how it's perceived in the public. Okay? So the perception the public has to understand is this town, or the previous town board, voted and approved a higher bidder for almost $1 million more for the garbage contract. It has now progressed from the appellate division in Brooklyn all the way to the state's highest court. And the state's highest court doesn't necessarily look at every single case, okay? They're looking at this one. Win or lose, they're going to look at it. I want to protect the integrity of the town of Southeast. And by doing so, number one priority is how we spend money. And that's key to all of this. So if Ms. Hudak wants to continue the process to approve and allow the $857,000 to continue to be paid out, that then sets a precedence here that, hey, we can spend what we want. And that's basically what the appellate division said in Brooklyn. They will not get involved in how a town spends money. If you want to spend $1 million on a clock, you can spend $1 million on a clock. As long as it's not illegal, they will not step into it. And that's why the appellate division decided that way.
And with respect to the status of the higher bidder, Centipro doing business as Suburban, as a client, former client of the law firm of, or former law firm of Senator Vincent Leibel, Liz, I think you had a family member on Senator Leibel's payroll, is that right?
Yes, my son was proud at that time to work with Senator Leibel, as were many people, and was as distressed, upset, and put back by the fact that Senator Leibel did what he did. And yes, at the time, there were a lot of people. I know a lot of people who supported Senator Leibel, went to his functions, including but not limited to our sheriff. Lots of people, our assemblymen. So you know something? It was a great shock to everyone. As a matter of fact, you know, I could name any number of people who went to his functions. So I think we were all taken aback, stunned, and shocked. And particularly someone like my son, who was who looked up to Senator Leibel. And I think that happens to all of us. And I think it's a tragedy. And I think it was a tragedy for Senator Leibel's family, and it was a tragedy for our town and for Putnam County. And I think it's a very difficult. It's very difficult for us to swallow this, and it's made us all look suspect. But you know, somehow or another, I'd like to look at it as a lesson, and I'd like to look at it as something that you know, Supervisor Wrights, what he likes to do is just continue to put his heel into everyone, and by saying that, I think that he thought that he was going to be attacking my son.
No.
But that being said,
Just in the interest of
all you need to know out there is, yes,
we have more.
I will
deadline.
confirm that my son did work for Senator Leibel at a time when many people looked up to him, when many people benefited from him, and right now we all are in the same boat. I, for one, would like to move on, although I do know that the supervisor continues to intone his name. And I think that's a tragedy in and of itself, because I think that as a community and as a county, we need to move
Now we're
on.
gonna move on.
And what I would also like to do is just to remind everyone, this was, everything
And a
that was said
deadline.
was just simply, we had already voted on this. The vote was just to simply extend the deadline. That's what I wanted.
Jake?
If the majority of the individuals here did not want to extend the deadline, then we would have just said
Will you
no.
let someone else
The
speak,
bids
please?
would have been opened on the 27th.
She's talking.
Liz,
That's
will you-
it.
will
I
you
would
let-
like to
will
hear
you
the
let
public
someone else-
comment and perhaps move on.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Jake.
Okay, well, I guess thanks for muddying the waters. What I was trying to clarify. I just wanted to make it easy for everyone else to understand who's watching there, out there, what the town board members are, what sides and what they believe in. And it sounds like you've declared what you believe in a very roundabout way. And just for, in layman's terms, I'll try and explain it for anyone else that's out there watching it. It sounds like we have two to three board members. No, we have 2 to 3 board members who want to watch out for the town, and kind of watching ourselves for potential litigation, and two, that are willing to let that opportunity pass and take our chances. So I just thought I'd like to sum it up for everyone else out there, because the way that you described it, it tends to be very roundabout and nondescript. So,
I think it's-
thanks.
If I could
We
just
have, I
say,
have a motion and a second. Do we want to vote?
well, I just want to mention, I was not, and none of my relatives were on Senator Liddell's payroll, but that's not
Sweet
why I'm
window,
making
right?
this decision, but we have an
Yeah,
obligation.
Bob.
5 times.
We have an obligation to support the prior town board. Two of the prior town board members that investigated the garbage contract, two of them were risk managers, one of them for Verizon and private sector, the other one for Putnam County. They both felt that this company was a more responsible company, and that's why they backed Sanipro as the winner of the contract.
Okay.
It was the Court of Appeals in New York City, the appellate court supported that 4-0. I am voting strictly to protect the town's interest, to make sure that the State Court of Appeals realizes that, why the town made the decision. And I think that's important, that we just don't ignore this situation, because if we do, there's a very good potential that the town could be sued. And Liz and I were not part of the decision for the garbage contract, but we have to support the decision that was made. And that's why I'm voting to go forward with this.
Fair enough,
So
Councilman.
that's an aye?
Mr. Gambino, Mr. Gambino, when you mentioned Mrs. Hudak and Mr. Cullen, you left my name out, okay? I don't know why. I'm going to go get your papers from the high school and regrade those. I'm telling you right now. I support
All right,
those two folks
Okay.
as well on this issue.
Thanks, Roger. There's a motion and a second. All in
Councilman Cullen,
favor?
that was an aye?
Yes.
No, we don't need a roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion
Nay.
carries 3 votes to
Okay,
2.
what were the nays? By who?
You
The nays, Town Clerk Mazzy, as you well know, the nays were myself and
I
Councilman
can't
Yee.
see, so could you please
Okay,
tell
I
me
make a
who was
motion to
nays?
close the meeting?
Second.
Excuse
All
me.
in favor?
Excuse
Aye.
me.
Aye.
Who were the nays? Does anybody know?
Opposed?
Okay,
Opposed? Is there any opposition
Aye.
to closing the meeting?
we're closing the meeting.
I want to thank you folks for your patience tonight.